TimeShot, yes, TimeShot. I'm in the place where my friends are, and I know together we'll go far. Yeah, TimeShot, yes, TimeShot. And I'm still doing things the TimeShot way. Hello, people, it's Poet, and we're back on TimeShot. So the last time we got parrots with the group, and worked out pretty well. Now, I've done my own testing after the fact, because I mean, I was frustrated by the fact that when we first looked around, we didn't find any, and yet everything I was reading online was telling me that they do spawn naturally, which is a weird thing to say when we looked for close to an hour and didn't see any. So, what do I mean by naturally? I mean, when you go into a jungle, there's a chance that an ocelot will spawn naturally and will repeatedly spawn naturally. I looked it up. I went through the Mojang bug report system, and I saw that in pre-release 3 for the 1.12, they apparently added the feature that they would spawn naturally. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, what the heck? Like, we looked around for 40 minutes, didn't find anything, regenerated the world. I went into MC Edit, program that you can use, deleted all of these chunks in the jungle, respawned them in here in 1.12, and all of a sudden we have parrots. That to me seems pretty definitive that, okay, yes, you need to respawn the world in order to get parrots in an old world. So I was looking into this again because I was like, I must have missed something. And in fact, I think it was also in pre-release 3. It says, quote, added parrots spawn to old jungles. Like something like, maybe not direct quote, but paraphrasing, ability to spawn in old jungles, quote unquote. So basically, the ability to spawn in jungles that you have seen before. But then it begs the question, well, why aren't we seeing any here? And the fact of the matter is, I believe that the parrot spawning is just rare enough that it was sort of a fluke that we didn't see any the first time we recorded the episode that you'll never see on my channel. You can see it. I think Edson said he would edit it down and show some of that. Basically us failing and burning down the entire jungle trying to find them, and then not finding any. Well, we were on the right track, but not quite the right track. So I'm going to show you guys some single player worlds that I made up to demonstrate what I mean. So I was trying to figure out how do they spawn in exactly? Like, what is the rate of spawn? What different conditions do they need to spawn in? Will they spawn in an old jungle? And so forth. Okay? So we're disconnecting. Disconnect single player. And I've got some worlds here you can see. The first one that I made up, very simple. Super flat. Oh, this is actually the second one that I made up. To see if anything at all would spawn on leaves. No. So we can see if I hit F3 and you look on the left side there, it says Biome Jungle. This is a super flat jungle world where the bottom is basically all leaves. Now, confirmed, the birds don't spawn on leaves. I was pretty sure, but I just wanted to make double sure. Because they are birds after all. Maybe they'd be in the trees. Maybe someone at Mojang would be like, oh yeah, that would make sense to make them spawn on leaves. No, nothing spawns on leaves. Nothing. All right, so the next one I made, actually this was the first one that I made, was this one right here. was a super flat. Again, you can see we are in the biome jungle. Super flat world. Ocelots galore. Ocelots for days and days and days. But just traveling, like if you travel in a direction for forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and I've traveled for a very long way here, no birds. We got lots of slimes and the slime chunks and the ocelots spawning in here and there and everywhere. No birds. Okay? So this is with jungle grass. No birds are spawning in. So if you're thinking of you're thinking of burning down the jungle, wait up. Don't do that yet. Or maybe you want to, but here's really how, look, you can see them even spawning in like as I sit around. Crazy. So the one that worked for me is when I did this. Now you can see right away there are parrots. Like I don't even have to travel. I don't even have to travel. The second that I put down jungle wood, look at these suckers. Look at them all. Look at them. So, well, now that I'm traveling, they're going to be rarer as they spawn in. I almost shouldn't speed away. I think that they spawn in gradually, but they do spawn in. Trust me, they do repeatedly spawn in. I know this isn't exactly going according to plan. Not seeing any, but trust me. Here, I'll demonstrate for you. If I do /kill at E, that killed. You can see it killed a bunch of parrots. If I travel again in a direction, here's parrots, and I am traveling in the positive the way that I went before. So if we look again, we're at about 70. Let's say we're at about 77. Well, let's just round it off to 70 and 300, okay? So 370-ish, okay? 70x 300. Okay, and there's parrots we can see for days. If I do /kill at E, killed everything. Let's travel in the same direction again. I mean, right away. Right away. There's parrots, parrots, parrots. You can see the slime balls of where the other parrots were, all the feathers of them, but we can see parrots in the distance even. Kill at E. I could actually see them disappearing in the distance. Look at all the slimes now all of a sudden. Now, they are affected by mob cap. Keep that in mind. Maybe I should kill them more. Kill all the slimes. Look at this. Right away. Confirmed. New spawns of parrots. Okay? So this was the best case scenario right here, where we didn't have to travel for days and days and days and saying, really guys, trust me. No, they do spawn in. New spawns right here, sitting very close to where we just killed a bunch of the birds. New spawns. So it is a thing. They do spawn in. It is rare though, because like look at the amount of wood that I've placed down, and this is all jungle biome. The amount of parrots that spawn in, few and far between. Definitely. And seemingly more so near spawn, like 0-0-ish. Where my spawn is. You know? Because my spawn's around this area. There's birds right near where I spawned in. So the next question I had was, well, is it any kind of wood that they spawn in on? So I created a world full of birch. Sure enough, here they are. And again, like tons of birds. All on a birch floor in a jungle biome. Again, we are in jungle biome. You can see biome jungle. Birds spawning in. Here's one. There's 3 more. So they do spawn in on the birch. Seems pretty good to me. Seems pretty definitive. So, with that in mind, when we go to this world here, and we know that they do spawn in, but that they only spawn in on wood, we have to think, okay, and it is a rare spawn on wood. You saw how rare it was, just even in our tests. Look at the amount of wood that they have to spawn on. And if you're like me, you know that they can't spawn on the side of wood, so the answer is pretty well 0. There are almost no spawning platforms for the birds here. Almost none. Like, honestly, like, you get some jutting out pieces of wood here and there, but to be perfectly frank, it's not very abundant. Like, in fact, just looking around, there's one. There's a spawning platform for a bird right there. Little piece of jungle wood sticking out. I don't know if the vine attached to it affects that spawning platform or not. But you can see that the spawning platforms, if they need a piece of wood, are almost non-existent. So that could very well explain why, number one, we're not seeing a lot. And number two, just why they aren't spawning in very frequently. So the idea is, what we're going to be doing now, or what I intend to start to do, is we're going to cut down a load of these trees here. I've got a decent axe. It's not, you know, the best in the world, but it's unbreaking at least. I'm going to cut down some of these jungle wood trees, and what we're going to do with them is place them down in a large pattern, kind of just a flat area spawning platform for the parrots. Now I think that they will spawn probably not below a certain Y level. I don't know if there's a height level limit. I don't really know the mechanics of spawning that well. You know, I'm being honest. But like, for example, I know that certain passive mobs don't tend to spawn naturally inside of caves. And it's not that the biome is different inside of a cave, it's that the Y level is basically different. I think that's how it determines it. So there must be some kind of a determining factor there. It's not light level or anything like that, because we saw a parrot, for example, spawned underneath an overhanging piece of dirt that was really dark underneath it. There was a parrot still there, on account of the Y level, I believe. So I don't think that that's the light level has anything to do with it. I'm pretty sure that it's the Y level. So what I'm going to do is probably just I'm not going to go crazy and like dig out the land to make it all like level 64 or something. There's no need for that, but as long as I keep it above ground, like at this level is perfectly fine. 74, for example. Perfectly fine. And probably the limit, there is probably no upper limit. But that's going to bother me for the rest of my life if I don't cut this down. There we go. Things like that are going to bother me. Oh, I think I missed a log in there. Yeah, I did. Okay, well, I'll get that kind of stuff later. So it would almost be faster again. Like, it's kind of crazy. Why aren't these despawning? They don't have a log next to them. They're natural spawn technically. Maybe they just need an update. Just needs an update, a block update. See, they should be spawning in all over there too. But anyway. Maybe this flat area here would be the best. Where can I get some flint? Time to go looking for some flint, I think. It sounds crazy to burn this jungle down again, but that is honestly the fastest way of flattening the section out that I need. As far as wood goes, I'm going to need a lot more. But I will have plenty of wood there. The ability to... this is silk touch, isn't it? Ah. Of course, the one shovel I get is the one that can't get flint. Just need one piece of flint. There it is. Alright. Shouldn't have thrown the seeds. I need those. There we go. White wool, quartz. I need everything else, basically. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't really need that. Alright. These, what are they called? Advancements? As opposed to achievements. They're kind of annoying. All older players who have been playing Minecraft forever and who hasn't been. I think we're all kind of annoyed by that change. The recipe book. Give me a break. Although, I say give me a break, and yet there are times where I'll be like, how do I make an enchanting table? So it'd be nice to be able to just like click here and... Can I search? There's a search button. I can't click on it. Oh yeah, I can. There's like an invisible box there that you're supposed to know is there. So I could type in like enchanting and get the recipe. But I haven't found it yet, apparently. Alright, so let's go ahead and burn this jungle down. At least part of it. There we go. This fire will spread fairly quick. I'm putting it on the logs because I don't know why. I just feel like it spreads faster if it's on wood rather than leaves. I could go like that too. It will spread somewhat when it's on leaves. And here comes the choppiness, the lag. The lag. Okay, but this is very important. So I'm going to flatten this part out, this little part right here. Doesn't have to be too extensive, I don't think, at this point. I just want to kind of have a proof of concept more than anything. Because if it does work, then, you know, I'll put in the effort and flatten out some other areas of this jungle. But I'm not going to work like crazy to flatten out areas that, you know, we'll never see a new parrot spawn. Oh my god, this this lag is ridiculous. These guys are hearing a spider. They're hissing. Baby cave spider. Baby cave spader. James Spader. Alright. So let's go ahead and this is all jungle edge. They do spawn in jungle edge. Yes, they do. The jungle edge is definitely defined by the grass in every instance. Okay. So that makes it way easier. It means that I can essentially just go like this. The sides of the block don't matter. That's just a another element to the block, but the block type itself doesn't change. Oops, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm not following along anything here. All for the parrots, guys. What was I doing? Weird. Okay, so it should go like this. Yeah. Okay. And so on and so forth. So I'm going to be putting down a fairly large platform of wood in this area. That is going to, for the most part, follow... It is easier if it's all one level, but just by the nature of how this all works, it won't be. I guess I didn't need to destroy the wood that I had placed down there because ultimately that is still jungle edge. It will all be covered. But I wanted to at least map out the border here. So here we go. I mean, if I see things spawning on a little tiny platform like that, that'd be a miracle. I'm going to go ahead and cut down a few more of these trees. Like this is basically just one tree worth. It almost does look like a tree just fell down and exploded. Even with the little leaves at the top. So I'm gonna get a few more logs down. I'm gonna maybe climb up and cut these down. And see how it goes from there. I'm gonna see if I can go all the way up to that, at least that little mountain hill thing. Well, this is one more leaf. This is what we came up with. Well, we didn't come up with anything. This is what the result is, I should say, of yeah, well, it's been a while. I don't know, 20 minutes of work or so. Climbing up, cutting down. I cut down like 3 or 4 trees, more like 4 or 5, and 4 or 5 trees. And this is all that I was able to do. We're talking 4 or 5 trees like that, so it's going to take an exorbitant amount of wood to finish even a slightly suitable platform for spawning them in. My hope is that, very much like ocelots, when you give them a spot to spawn, they enjoy that. And they do spawn. You know what I mean? Like, if we give them enough spawning platforms, surely the game will figure out that, yes, there should be parrots spawning in. Okay, here are some spaces that they can spawn in, and spawn them in. I don't know if I have to, like, leave the area so that they, like, have the ability to spawn in. I don't know that I need to be that far away necessarily, but I think maybe just out of render distance, which isn't yet. I mean, it is out of mob render distance probably, but I want to, like, I can't see obviously any mobs spawning in from here. But just until the fog of war there, or whatever you might call it, engulfs where I've just put down some logs. I wish that they weren't so rare that they're almost impossible to see spawn in. But I'm hoping that, like, if I walk away this far away, okay, so we've basically unloaded that area. More than enough. More than enough. And I don't know what the wait time should be, if there even should be a wait time. Let's go back and see if anything spawned in. I'll need to figure out, maybe someone in the comments knows, like, what the ultimate despawn zone is. Like, I shouldn't have to walk this far away. I think it might even be as low as like 16 blocks or something, 64 blocks or something. I know that the whole total radius of spawnable areas is like 128, but shouldn't have to walk away 128 blocks every time you want to spawn in some birds. So, like, even this far away, like, this should be good enough. Walk away this far, come back, see if anything spawned in, rinse and repeat. So nothing that I can see has spawned in. Yeah, nothing yet. But I know that they can spawn in. I know, because we've proved that concept already in the creative world. Now it's just to see the concept proved in this world. Yeah, no. It would be nice. It would be so nice if I was just standing here and all of a sudden, poof, some birds spawned in, just like ocelots sometimes do. They spawn in when you're just kind of standing around the area. But I think that we just have to keep going. Maybe I'll get some help from someone like Penny. Dave is always a good option. When he's around, he loves doing menial tasks like this for some reason. Or Edson might even step up if they have some, because I'm sure a lot of people just have extra wood laying around. I probably have some. You know, maybe not even a stack of jungle. It doesn't need to be jungle wood. It can be any type of wood. Bring out a few stacks, and a stack of wood will fill in like this little section here. So, you know, every little bit helps. And just keep at it. Maybe come in with some shears. Get rid of some of the leaves that are sitting on top of blocks of wood like that. You know, uncover some of them even might help. Just going through the jungle and uncovering spawn pads where they could spawn in will always help. But in any case, that's where we are going to end this episode. I'm excited for parrots. I've got to tell you, more so than any other mob to date. I can't really explain why. See, here's an ocelot that just kind of spawned in the area. The birds, however, like I said, they need wood, apparently. And there's just not a whole lot of it sitting around. Unless the sides of the wood do count. There's not a whole lot of wood just floating around, so... like uncovered wood. So I don't know. Maybe they can spawn on the sides. Probably the vines interrupt that as well. I don't think that they spawn on vined wood. You never know. In any case, that's where we're going to end it. Like I said, like this video, comment below, give your thoughts. Maybe you've found the ultimate solution in spawning parrots. But I think given my little tests there, it makes sense what we're going to do. And like for those of you who are saying like, well, you know, they spawn in so rarely, maybe that flat world with the grass, maybe you just didn't find any. Like maybe they're that rare. Because it did take me a while to find them in other biome tests that we did, the other block type tests. But I'm telling you guys, like what is that? Is that a... It's green. What is that? Hit? Oh, it's just reeds. Okay. I did tests, like, I'll show you one last time before this episode is completely over. This is the world with the grass all through it. I can do /kill at E just to go to spawn again. Nothing. No parrots. I don't know if it's the mob cap with all these ocelots or even with the slimes getting involved. But there are no parrots in the grasslands. I mean, if I'm proven wrong, that'd be great. But as it stands, I mean, this looks pretty definitive to me. You know, seen a lot of cats, the ocelots, all over the place spawning in. They're not rare at all. Some slimes, but well, no birds that I can see. Whereas, like, again, one last time, if we go to like our jungle world, /kill at E, oops, at E, see what we can find. Let's go in this direction this time. Some slime balls left over. There's some feathers. It's looking pretty good that there were birds here. Ah, look at that. That immediate. It didn't take us long. There's another one right over there that spawned in behind us. It didn't take us all that long to find new bird spawns, as opposed to like you don't see any ocelots here. So it looks like the logs are the key. Anyway, that's where we're going to end it. Like this video, comment below, do all those other awesome things you people do, and share it with those who are looking to spawn in some parrots and maybe having some trouble. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.